Come on. Come on.
Put your emojis together for Auntie Miracle B.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy pre-Halloween Tuesday. I have on my little jack-o'-lantern sweater. This is my favorite time of the year. How's everybody doing today? Hey, Stinson, if you're still in here. Daniel, Barry, Sports Highlights, Vicky, Kayla, welcome, welcome all. Welcome, welcome. Let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, I don't even know. Okay, here we go. Hey, Miss Chalet. That's probably not how you pronounce your name, but I love saying it that way. Miss Chalet. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anywho's, so this morning was watching, of course, Dumb SL trial, and they put another detective on the stand. Not a detective, I'm sorry, another lawyer or DA on the stand. So I knew it was going to be boring. So then the court gods came and have you lost weight? Yeah, I'm smaller than the last time you probably saw me. Yeah. But anyway, Sarah, to my surprise and delight, took the stand. And I'm telling y'all, her testimony is very Jodi Arias-esque. So we're going to get into these lies. All right, hold on. Oh, let me see. Got to share. But since I've actually gained some of my weight back, I've gained a few pounds. Let's see. Share screen. All right. Hey, G5. Why is Tiffany Henry still on here? My background. I want her. And I still got to do another Tiffany Henry because her goofy behind. Yeah, she goofy. Thank you. It was so similar to Jodi. But anyway, I don't want to belabor the point and run my mouth too much. And let's just get into these lies.
Jury entering.
Look at her. Look at her. That's America's Karen right there. If there's nobody that fits the description of Karen, it's this hoe. Oh, thank you. Thank you, look, Elvalise Cartagena. I hope I pronounced something right.
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes,
Defense, do you recognize our jury? All right, thank you. Y'all can be seated.
Get your ass
The jury,
down.
after seated and comfortable, if you could raise your hands to confirm that you complied with the court's instructions during the break. Record.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay, there we go. Here this whole go.
call Sarah Boone.
There we go. Hey, JoJo. Look at it.
Raise your right hand, please. Sworn, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you should give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Ha!
All right, ma'am, you can take a
Lies.
seat. And if you could, state and spell your name for the record.
Hey, Devontae.
Sarah Boone, 10-10-77.
And could you spell your name?
S.
Wait, her date of birth is 77? I was born in 78. Hey, Jeff Morgan, I was born in 78. 77? That's how she was. Wow. God dog. Let's continue. Child. She a year older than me.
RAHBOONE.
All right, thank you very much. Sir, you may inquire.
Ms. Boone, would you please tell the jury where you were born and raised?
Hell.
Atlanta, Georgia.
You were born in Atlanta?
I was born in Atlanta.
And how long did
It's a good thing that she was just born in Atlanta and she didn't commit this crime in Atlanta, because Fonnie and Joanna Man Love will try to get her for a bastardized RICO case.
you stay in Atlanta before you moved here to Florida?
I was 3 years old, 3 or 4.
Okay. And from that time, y'all moved, you and your family, your mother and father, moved to Orlando?
And my grandparents.
Okay. Y'all all moved down from Atlanta down to Orlando?
Yes, and my 2 brothers.
Okay. And were you raised here essentially from that time on?
Yes,
And
Oh,
you
who
resided here in
cares?
Orange County, Florida that entire time?
yes,
Okay. And where did you go to high school here locally?
I did.
Where did you go to high school?
Yeah.
Okay. And tell the jury, how old were you when you graduated?
I was 18 years old.
Now, I know you lost your mother and father.
Overruled.
Oh, hell.
I know you lost your mother and father in your teens and in your 20s. Is that true?
I lost my grandfather when I was a sophomore in high school, and I lost my father when I was a senior. And then my mother passed away a few years after that, and then my grandmother passed away after my mother died.
Or so you were in your 20s when all that was going on?
Yes,
Okay. And then at some point in your 20s, you met Brian Boone?
I did, yes.
All right. And how long did y'all date before you married?
A good handful of years. I helped my family with paying mortgage and bills for the house since my father had passed away and my grandfather. So
So you worked outside the home?
I did.
Okay. Can you tell the jury when you said you and Brian Boone dated for a while? Do you remember when?
She has a look. She's a cross. No, she looks like a more lucid version of Eileen Wuornos. You know, that and the teeth aren't, like jagged and crooked.
And y'all married?
I do.
Could you tell the jury when y'all were married?
The year?
Yeah. You remember the date?
It happened to be, yes, that after my mother passed away, that he had
Bitch,
waited
the date.
to ask me to marry him because he knew it would be,
Sustained.
Thank you.
Just answer the question if you can, Ms. Boone. Are you a little bit nervous?
a little bit.
Okay. Well, just
Well, I can't tell because you about to tell a bunch of lies, so I don't know how nervous you are. You weren't nervous when you locked Jorge or George, whatever you want to call them, in the suitcase. You weren't nervous when you pulled out your camera. Let's continue.
just tell the jury if you remember the date that you and Brian Boone married.
August 21st, 2004.
Okay. And had y'all lived with each other for a short time before that?
Short time.
Yes.
Look how she blinking. Eileen used to blink like that. That's crazy right there.
After you married, how long was it before y'all had any children?
Gosh, 6 years?
Okay. And y'all have one son.
Hey,
Yes.
Cindy.
What's his name?
Lucas.
And how old is Lucas now?
Lucas will be 14 years old on the 28th.
28th
Poor
of this
Lucas.
month?
Yes.
Oh, Lucas.
So you and Brian were married and y'all lived in Orange County. How long
Hey,
y'all
Charlene.
married?
For 13 years.
All right, and y'all divorced?
Yes.
I know you
And
did.
as part of the divorce, were y'all to share custody of your son?
Yes.
And so y'all would split days? Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At some time after you and Brian split up, did you meet George Torres?
Yes.
All right, could you tell the jury how you met George Torres?
I met George when I decided to
Dedicate your life to
buck
God.
up, I guess, and was tired of trying to patch things up with my ex-husband.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to go one day for a walk across the street and go have a beer by myself and sit and people watch just to get out of my house and a change of scenery.
All right, now is this your apartment?
No, this is the marital home.
Okay.
Marital home.
Where is that?
Okay, you sent the link to the Discord. Did you do that in the on IG, Stinson?
Marital home.
Winter Park?
You're no longer living in that marital home?
No.
Who lives in the marital home?
No one. It has been sold.
Okay. So you met George Torres before you got the apartment?
Yes.
Okay. And you met him at a bar across the street from the marital home?
Yes, we had a mutual friend there.
Were you introduced?
Yes.
All right. How did you and George?
Yes, she did, Jeff. I'm sorry, Vizzini. Charlene played Eileen. I mean, it was to the T. All her mannerisms. Oh, you said you got a Discord link. What? You put a link in the chat? I'm blind. I can't see nothing. I don't have my glasses on.
You get along when y'all first met?
Very well. It was strange how quickly we hit things off and had so much in common. And I never thought that he would be interested in someone like me. And
I agree. I don't know how somebody like him could be interested in something like this. So I agree. That was a correct assessment.
just couldn't believe that he was actually interested in me and said a lot of nice things.
Hey,
and 1 hour ended up being 4 hours from when we had first met, and then we would always have something to talk about.
Translation: they was both drinking at the bar. Now they just across the street from my house. They had a one-night stand, and Jorge moved in, and there you have it. That's their relationship. Tell me I'm wrong.
Why couldn't you believe that he would be interested in you?
Look at me to be your answer.
He was very handsome. He was very funny. He was smart, and I would show up in workout clothes and disheveled hair, and I guess I kind of felt broken from being in the process of the divorce that he knew about. But then one of the things that we could relate also was the fact that he was here in Florida because he had just been divorced from his second wife. So that was
Oh, okay. So y'all all hot in the ass. I know this person is Service Stinson. I know. Yeah, I know Stinson. I have a Discord server actually.
another topic that he and I could compare notes on.
So eventually the divorce was settled. Did you get your own place?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that after at first you lived in your parents' home, correct?
Yes, until I was married.
And then you moved directly in with Brian,
Yes.
and then y'all lived in the marital home, correct?
Yes.
And then you got this apartment.
Yes.
So that was the first time in your life that you actually had your own place.
Yes.
And what was the address?
4748 France Court, apartment number 3.
And what city is that in?
It's in Water Park.
How far is that from here?
20 minutes.
Okay. So you got that apartment, and initially were you by yourself?
No.
All right, tell the jury.
In the almost year, about 10 months of separation from Brian, my ex-husband, that is the time when I met George. And my ex-husband was trying to buy me out or force me out of our marital home, and I needed to find somewhere to live. And
So did you and George agree to rent the
I know,
apartment?
Jeff.
yes, I needed extra income. We could not afford it just on my own.
You were receiving some income from the
Thank
marriage
you,
settlement,
Papa.
were you not?
Yes,
So you did have a consistent monthly income coming in from the marriage settlement,
for the most part, yes.
but you needed more to live.
Yes, to pay the bills and for rent.
So did you and George have some agreement?
We did.
All right, what was the agreement?
The agreement was that if I decided for he and I to live with one another, because it would be under my name, that he would help with the monthly bills and on a regular basis where it wouldn't be something that I would have to argue with him about. It would just be an automatic, make sure that everything's paid first, and then from there, hopefully have some fun with it.
Okay.
And
So
drink.
I understand from that point on, would it be fair to say
Oh,
that y'all saw each other on and off?
y'all, I know us Brooksaholics have heard, would it be fair to say, so much in our, for the last like 3 years, we keep watching the stupid trial. I just want to just give a collective sigh hearing, would it be fair to say?
For about the next 3.5 years.
No, I consider us a couple.
Okay.
At some point, he asked me to marry him.
Okay. But y'all did have times where he left and went to live with his parents.
Yes,
Is that fair?
yes,
And there were times where there was an understanding that y'all were going to break up.
multiple times.
Okay. All right. So again, on again, off again.
Yes, this was actually before we had our apartment. That was, I guess, our dating phase.
Okay. So y'all were together for 3.5 years. Is that fair?
Yes,
And y'all had actually agreed to marry?
he had asked me yes a couple of times to marry him, and one time I agreed to yes.
Okay. Now, I want to get directly to the date of this event so that the jury can hear your testimony. All right. So tell us, I believe the date is February the 23rd of 2020. Explain to the jury that whole day, from the time y'all got up, the whole thing.
Look at the live, y'all.
Approach.
I've had to spend a long time back in my old trolling days, my old fan. It just felt like it was appropriate for this help. Clock it. If y'all want one of these fans, you can get it on Amazon. I had actually had some t-shirts back in the day that had "Bye Bitch" on it, but I was accused of stealing people's ideas or something, even though I bought a freaking fan. That is somebody else's intellectual property, apparently. I don't know. And I hate her voice, that mousy, soft voice. Oh, I'm sweet and I'm innocent, and I couldn't hurt a fly.
Objection's overruled for now.
Now, Ms. Boone, let's just, instead of one long speech, let me break you up over the course of the day. So, do you remember the date of February 23rd, 2020?
Yes,
Do you remember getting up?
yes.
All right, just tell the jury about that morning. What y'all did that morning. What you and George spent the night together at the apartment.
Yes, at that point, he was living there.
Yes. So y'all slept in the bed together upstairs. February. So y'all would have gotten up that morning, February 23rd of 2020.
Yes.
All right, tell the jury what happened when y'all got up.
He was already downstairs, and
Okay.
I went downstairs, and he wanted to start the day off by drinking because it was a day off from his job. And
And he was living with you, and in order to successfully live in the same house with you, you have to be drunk. There has to be copious amounts of alcohol. Has to be.
I talked him into cleaning and tidying up the house for a sense of accomplishment.
What?
So that is what we did
Huh?
for however long that it took.
A sense of accomplishment by cleaning the house? Really? Is he 5? You help me with the dishes. Yay. Girl, bye.
So we did tidy up the house and got everything in order, and it was kind of a reward, I guess, to be able to sit and enjoy ourselves and sit on the back porch.
All right, what do you mean by
So it was a reward to clean the house. You don't clean the house on a normal basis? Is that what I'm confused. I'm confused.
cleaning up the house? What did y'all do?
We swept and mopped. We folded some of the laundry.
Okay.
I know that we did the dishes,
Wonderful.
emptied the dishwasher, just
Hmm.
general run of the mill tidying up.
And did you have your son coming the next day?
Yes, that was one of the reasons why we were able to do that.
What was the arrangement?
See, what you should have done is you should have waited for your son to come home and made him do it. Teach him. Now that would be giving a child a sense of accomplishment, not a freaking 40-year-old man.
That you had in terms of the next day would have been your day to pick up your son from school?
Yes,
What time would you pick Lucas up from school the next day?
I believe his school ended at 3:00.
Okay. So you would have been responsible to pick him up and he would be spending the night with you that night.
Yes,
So you wanted to have the house nice and clean.
yes,
How many bedrooms are in the home?
2.
And
Lucas.
you and George had one bedroom?
Yes,
And who had the other?
Lucas.
All right. Is that exclusively his bedroom?
Yes.
All right. So how long would it have taken y'all that morning to clean?
I don't really remember what time we woke up, but maybe a good 2, maybe 3 hours.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that you and George both smoked cigarettes?
Yes,
And would it be fair to say that you and George both drink alcohol?
yes,
All right. So at some point, y'all finished your chores, right? And then y'all were going to enjoy the day.
yes.
All right. What was the plan?
It was just kind of, we've got the day to ourselves. Let's just kind of relax and go with the flow.
Did y'all make a decision that y'all were going to start drinking?
Yes, we had a half of a bottle that was already in the refrigerator, and I did not want to go out afterwards. I, again, had Lucas coming the next day, so we went over to Publix to purchase another bottle of wine so we could not have to go out later on that evening.
Now, you were here in court when the state played the video of you two and the Publix purchasing the bottle of wine.
Yes,
Is that what you're referring to here with the jury right now?
yes,
Okay. And that was around noonish?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Now, remember in her interrogation, she said that she don't know how the wine got there, that she didn't buy it, even though there were receipts in the trash, that somebody purchased it, and it was 2 empty wine bottles in the trash.
Had y'all started drinking the leftover bottle before going to the Publix?
No,
Okay. So y'all bought a bottle of wine?
yes,
All right. And how did y'all get to Publix?
my car.
How far is,
Lord, I bet she drove a Nissan Altima or a Toyota Corolla. She said the Corolla type. No, she's not a go with the flow person. She's a pump and dump person. Chantal, she's a pump and dump.
Publix from your apartment?
5 minutes.
How would you get there from your apartment?
What do you mean?
Did you have to go across any major highways or is it right there?
You just come out of our apartment complex and you do a little U-turn and then you come up and it's right in that complex.
Thanks for stopping by, JoJo. You always know you can check the replay. Make sure that you share the stream, hit the like button so I can stay in the algorithms. And I'm almost at 5K. I just need y'all to help me get. I have like, I don't know how many I got, but I'm close to 5K.
Okay. But it's easier to drive than to walk.
Yes.
Now, I know at sometimes y'all would simply need cigarettes and it was in walking distance. Can you tell the jury about that?
Yes, there was a AutoZone convenience store with, in the same, I guess, parking lot of our townhome or complex. And it was just a straight shot from our apartment to a back gate, and you could get right into the convenience store from right there.
Okay. But y'all went over to get that bottle of wine around noonish. And how did you took your car?
Yes,
Did George have a vehicle?
we did not.
And how did you pay for the wine?
With my debit card?
And then y'all came back and started drinking?
Yes.
Okay, tell us what you did when you
Hey,
got back
Brian.
from the Publix.
Just went on the back porch where we usually spend our time
Oh, thank you,
because we're able to
Devontae.
smoke cigarettes outside as opposed to inside. And
Is cigarette smoking not allowed indoors?
it is not.
Okay. Do you have pets?
Yes, I do.
Well, did you have pets?
I
Let me guess. She has cats.
did, yes.
Okay. Were they with y'all there that day?
Yes, my dogs were with me all the time when I was there.
Oh,
How many
she
dogs do you
knows.
have?
I have two,
And just what are their names?
Penny and Tess.
And what is the breed?
They are red Boston Terriers.
And are they both disabled?
Yes, Penny is blind and Teff is deaf.
Tef is deaf. I'm sure Tef is happy he can't hear you, and I'm sure Penny is happy that she can't see you. It's all bad from head to toe. It's all bad. All bad.
So when y'all went out to smoke on the back porch and drink, I assume as well, correct?
Yes.
Did y'all take the dogs out?
Oh, yes.
Is there a place for them to do their business out there?
Yes, I
Irrelevant.
extended our back porch for them to have a little bit of area as opposed to going from a large backyard from my marital home to our little townhome. And they would come out there and do their business, and I could sometimes I would open the gate and then walk them in the back part of our apartment.
So you and George were just going to enjoy the day together?
Correct.
Is it fair to say y'all don't have a lot of money?
Yes.
And so y'all were going to do something there in the home? Y'all weren't going out for dinner or?
Yes, we primarily, I would consider us homebodies as opposed to going out and partying and doing this and that.
And annoying people.
And how long do you think y'all were out that afternoon outside?
A few hours.
All right. Could you tell the jury what y'all did
Please.
during that time?
We have a dartboard that's out there, and we just had drinks and we're just really enjoying each other's company and talking about, things upcoming. We both were looking for a job and just kind of, I guess, encouraging and supporting and planning.
Well, now you said he had a job. Was he looking for a job, a second job?
No, the job that he had was very unstable, and at that,
So he was looking for something new.
yes, at that time, yes.
Okay. And so during that 2 or 3 hours, would it be fair to say that y'all drank the bottle?
Yes.
Okay.
So they took out a bottle of wine in between 2 to 3 hours.
So would it be fair to say that y'all were feeling the effects of the alcohol?
Yes,
Okay. At some point, who made the decision to come in?
I did.
Okay. Why did you want to come in?
I felt that George needed a change of scenery.
Okay. So y'all came in, and then did y'all do anything else before he left again? Were y'all doing anything? I know y'all did some arts and crafts. What did y'all do? At some point, he went to get another bottle at Publix.
Yes. I believe it was after it was right before I believe that we had gone inside. Because he called his daughters. I was trying to encourage him to call his family.
Okay, now where are his daughters?
His two daughters are located in Pennsylvania.
And what are their names?
Anna and Destiny.
And how old are they?
I believe that Anna is in her 30s and Destiny may be in her early 20s.
All right. Does he have any more children?
Yes, he has a son.
Oh,
And
wow.
what is his son?
He is in Pennsylvania also.
Okay. So part of that afternoon is y'all came in to call relatives, call family.
No, I had him call outside, just trying to, I guess, boost the mood.
What?
And the first daughter didn't answer, and I don't remember the reason I didn't speak to the second one. I believe he did. It was just for a moment.
All right. Now, whose phone we are using?
My phone.
All right. And is that common for y'all to use that, for y'all to share that phone?
It was because George said that he didn't have a phone, so it
what?
would either be lost or given to him by his mother.
So y'all live together. And George had to tell you that he didn't have a phone. You didn't know? And I'm so confused on why they were outside and they came in the house. I'm so confused already. I'm confused. I'm sorry.
I didn't know he had a cell phone, so we would use my phone.
So it was primarily your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And you took a lot of photographs that were on that phone?
Yes.
Videotapes?
Yes.
Text messages?
Yes.
Phone call?
Yes. He and I both on the phone calls.
So he would use it as well?
Yes.
And that phone, is that the one that was seized in this case?
Yes.
All right, so y'all called his daughters.
So that was the phone that you used to commit a crime and recorded it. Self-snitching.
And then during that phone call period, did you also call his brother?
Yeah.
Okay, and which brother was that?
John.
All right, now, how many brothers and sisters does George have?
I'm gonna list them if that's okay.
Okay.
It's John, Pharrell, Isaac, Mo, and his sister.
Okay.
Dopey, mopey,
they
sleepy,
all
and doc.
live here in
Let's
Florida?
continue.
Yes.
Are they close by?
As far as I know, yes.
What about his parents?
Yes.
They live here as well?
Yes.
Okay. But his ex-wives and his children live up in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Okay. So you called the girls, then you called, George called his brother.
Yes.
Was that conversation that long?
No, it was not.
Okay. And then after that phone call, were y'all inside by this time?
Yes, at this point, I believe that it was a good time to get a change of scenery. So I thought George would be better off inside, and frankly, I didn't want to be outside any longer either.
Okay. So just to get an idea, about this time is when he went to get the second bottle, or did y'all stay inside for a while before he left?
No, from what I recall, I thought the day was over and it was going to be get ready for the evening, for the day. What do you want for dinner? Do you have an extra load of laundry that you need to throw in, kind of thing. And that was my understanding. And
This was about 5-ish or something?
I don't remember the time.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
At some point during that time period, did George go to Publix again?
Yes, I thought he was going to be walking to the convenience store, but apparently when he returned, he had gone across the street with my car and my debit card to buy another bottle of wine.
What was your understanding of where he was going?
To the convenience store, walking.
For what?
Cigarettes.
Okay.
And why?
And you learned obviously that he came back and you learned that he'd used your vehicle
Yes.
and he'd used your debit card
Yes.
and he'd brought back a bottle of wine from Publix.
Correct.
And you saw the Publix.
Yes,
video
ma'am.
back.
Yes.
So he comes back with the other bottle of wine, and did he want you to drink with him?
It was expected, yes.
Yes. And you agreed to
Translation. She brought another bottle of wine. Yes, I'm the one that popped the cork, and I was the one that was pouring because I'm an alcoholic bitch. Can't you tell? There's been a lot of drinking going on. Nobody in their 40s should look this bad. This is alcohol and cigarettes. Cigarettes destroy your skin too. You want to have nice, clear, beautiful skin. You do not smoke.
Consume the second bottle with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So over the course of that evening, drinking the wine, what did y'all do for time-wise? Watch a movie, music, just kind of tell the jury what you remember. I know it's obviously been a while, but.
It was kind of a regular thing where I would always try to come up with entertaining activities for George, and I bought a puzzle. We started off at one point doing a smaller puzzle, and then we did that very quickly. So then I purchased a larger puzzle, and I believe it was 1,000 pieces. So I thought to get his mind off of things and to focus on something, it would be smart for us to do the puzzle. So for however long that took, we finished the puzzle. So that was one.
Every piece was finished, or was it?
Every piece was finished. It was strange that we couldn't find one piece, and we thought it was funny that it was like in like the perfect place on there. But yes, every one but one piece.
All right. After the puzzle, what did y'all do?
I decided to continue to maintain and focus him, and I have a bunch of paints that I used of my son's that his grandmother bought him. It's a very big art wooden box, and it's got pastels, pencils, paint, any kind of whatever. And he and I were very much into art, and with this resource, it got him very interested in being more creative.
How long have you been into art?
Ever since I can remember.
Remember, Jodi Arias was into art too. She still makes artwork that is being sold. She has a website. So yeah.
As a child,
You like to draw?
I like to do anything artistic.
And I know, we saw some of the pictures of your apartment, but it looks like there was pictures and artwork up. Is that all your work and George's work?
The majority of it, yes, are belongings from my home, and then also some of George's, yes, on the wall.
Was he pretty good at art as well?
Yes,
All right, so you both
But I was
enjoyed doing it.
better.
very much.
So y'all got out Lucas's art set. What did y'all do with that?
We were just, I guess, doodling, whatever. I would always tell him that everything that you make is a masterpiece. So just let loose and just let it go. And
So was George grown or was he 5? The way that she describes talking about him, she makes him seem like that he's either intellectually delayed or he's a kid. But this is weird to me.
would just paint and,
And
you know,
drink.
paint and drink, yes, and listen to music sometimes, and yes.
Okay. Now with the dogs, did y'all get the dogs involved?
Oh, yes, my dogs follow me everywhere, yes.
Was there some dancing going on with the dogs?
Yes, after we had completed the puzzle and I guess we're painted out, I thought that it might be a good point for us to maybe listen to some music. And the music that George listens to is it's very fractious to me, and it was definitely not going to lighten the mood. So we ended up finding some channel on the radio, and he was feeling it. And then we ended up, my one dog gets very active and was dancing with us, and we were just having a good time listening to music.
And
Sounds like
I
fun.
guess it's getting pretty late in the evening.
Yes.
Anything else I've missed?
I don't believe so.
All right. So tell us
on, let's
where
get to
y'all
the main
ended up
event.
before you started the game of hide and seek.
We were there. I couldn't think of anything else possibly that I had to continue entertainment. But I remember sitting at the end of the couch and him sitting in one of my son's chairs that was in the living room and just kind of doing this. Like, what are we going to do now? Like, I very much would like to go to sleep.
Had y'all finished off the that bottle that he had bought?
I don't remember. To be
Yes.
honest
Bless you.
Would it be
Yes.
fair to say that as the day wore on, the more y'all consumed?
with you. Yes.
And would it be fair to say
Ugh.
that as the day wore on, the more you consumed, the more effects you felt from the alcohol?
Of course. Yes.
Both of you.
Yes.
Okay. So you would agree, would you not, that at the time y'all were trying to figure out something to do and you put your head down on the couch, that y'all, would it be fair to say that y'all were intoxicated?
Yes.
Tell the jury what happened.
At one point,
Come on.
I guess he knew that I couldn't come up with anything else, tapped me on my knee and said, "You're it." So from there, I ran up the stairs and hid into our shower,
What?
just waiting for him to find me. So
What? So you mean to tell me that after y'all did a bunch of day drinking, y'all did a puzzle, danced with one of the blind dog, because the deaf one can't hear. So y'all danced with the blind dog. Then George was like, "Okay, Mom, what do we do now?" I don't know. Okay, well, Tag, you're it. What? That's not
so we could hopefully go to sleep soon at some point. And
And your shower, is it a tub or just a walk-in?
it's a tub, but it's in the master bedroom, and you have to go all the way upstairs. You have to go in the bedroom, and then you have to go into the bathroom part, and then there's the shower part.
So did you lay down in the tub?
At one point, yes, I was.
Okay.
I
So
hope
you were
the tub
hiding.
was clean.
I was trying.
Okay. And did you believe that he was going to come try to find you?
Yes.
Did you wait?
Yes, for quite some time.
All right. Then what did you decide to do?
That I decided that I need to go to sleep. I'm picking my son up the next day, and we need to start wrapping up the evening.
So in the middle of the hide and seek game, George's supposed to be seeking you. You're hiding. He's supposed to be seeking you. So apparently George was that slow. He couldn't find you in a 2-bedroom house. He didn't bother to go upstairs and go through the room and then look in the bathroom. He was that freaking slow. So as you're waiting for him, you're like, "Oh, I need to go to sleep because I have to get up early and pick up my son." But you weren't concerned about any of that when you were drinking 2 bottles of wine. You didn't think, "Oh, I shouldn't drink, so much because I have to get up early." Because if you're old, it's hard for your body to bounce back. You can't go out drinking, back in the day, you could drink, stay up all night, you could work a full day. Like when I used to work in retail, I could work a full day, do a double shift, go out to the club later on, like 11, and then get up and go to church the next morning. Don't let me try that now. It ain't happening. I have to stay, I have to recuperate for a couple of days, so yeah, these are lies, child.
And I went downstairs to find where he was.
And what I think the jury has seen pictures of your, would you call it an apartment or
It's considered a townhome.
a townhome? So you walk down the stairs, right?
Mhm.
And at the bottom of the stairs is a bookshelf here?
Yes, at the very end of it, yes.
Okay. So you walk down the stairs and you turn and look in the living room. What did you see?
I don't even think I made it all the way down the stairwell because I was just looking for him as soon as I could to hopefully go
Oh.
upstairs as soon as we could. And I looked over and I saw him settling himself in the suitcase.
All right, tell us about the suitcase.
Oh God. Oh. Whew. So George is still trying to find you. You decide, oh, well, let me go downstairs and get him. But then you don't make it all the way down the stairs because you see him hiding, I guess, getting in the suitcase. But he's supposed to be coming to find you, though. Why would he be in the suitcase? Because he hadn't found you yet. That's how hide and seek go. If it don't make sense, it is not true. And this don't make no type of sense.
How long? Is it an older suitcase?
Yes,
Whose suitcase was it?
this is
Mine.
George's suitcase.
Oh.
Right. And did he use it for traveling back and forth to Philly?
Yes, I had recently taken him on a trip to go see his children in Pennsylvania, who he hasn't seen in years. And we took that with us. And because of how dilapidated it was, how broken it was, in the end, after that trip, we decided that we would donate it.
All right. And I understand y'all kept the suitcase upstairs.
Yes,
How long did y'all keep it upstairs?
since we had moved in.
Oh. Is there?
So how did the suitcase get downstairs for him to put himself in? If the suitcase is always kept upstairs? Inquiring minds would like to know.
a closet up there you kept it in?
Yes, it was in the master closet, the master bedroom closet, all the way in the back because of the size of it, and there was nowhere to put it, so it's all the way in the back.
So when did y'all decide to move it down from upstairs to downstairs? Was it that day or sometime earlier?
No, it was maybe a week or so prior.
Oh, a week before.
And so
Okay.
what, y'all were gonna donate that to Goodwill or?
Yes, we were going to do, I guess, a spring cleaning. Anyone who has children understands that they grow quickly, and there was a lot of clothes that I needed to go through of my sons, and then also from George and I moving in and just kind of putting everything in there, at one point where we just needed to actually go through it and organize it and get things more in order.
So is that the reason it was downstairs? You were gonna donate it and a bunch of things that you were gonna put inside of it?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So it'd been down there a week, so it was already down there?
Yes, George brought it down.
Okay. So you said that you got down there, you're looking for him, you see him settling into the suitcase.
Yes.
Yeah, let's
What
get the
did you
suitcase.
do?
In my head, I said, oh man, we're obviously not going to be going to sleep anytime soon. And I walked over and he was trying to get himself flat, so I couldn't tell that he was in there. And then,
Now, let me stop you there. The suitcase, is it the suitcase over here in the
yes,
box? You've seen it, you saw it.
yes,
It's a pretty big suitcase.
yes.
How big is George?
George was my height, and
How tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Okay.
Oh, we're the same height. Okay.
And how much did George weigh?
I thought it was 100 pounds.
Okay. And how much did you weigh?
I was 98 pounds.
All right. Do you agree you put on some weight?
Since I've been incarcerated, yes.
Well, at the time.
He's not no 98
y'all were
pounds.
pretty skinny.
Yes.
So from the pictures, it looks like y'all are both pretty thin.
Yes.
Not no 98
So
pounds.
Because of
You
his
were-
thinness, is that how, and he's a small man.
Yes.
Okay. So he was able to get in the suitcase on his own.
Yes.
Did he willingly get in the suitcase?
He was already in there.
Okay. When you got to him, did he see you?
Yes.
All right. Tell us what happened.
I mean,
Well,
I just I zipped him up. We thought it was funny. And we're joking about how he was, I guess, small enough to fit inside of the suitcase.
All right. So what happened then?
From there, it was just, we were laughing about it. And
it seems funny.
it was just strange that he was small enough to fit in there. And then I kind of moved it around a little bit with him in the suitcase still, it was still funny that he was still in the suitcase. Just, I think he and I were just kind of, couldn't believe that he could fit in the suitcase.
Did you eventually close the top?
Yes, well, the top was already closed.
How?
As he was settling himself in there, that's how I knew he was in there, was because the top was kind of flopping a little bit.
So he had gotten in there to hide, and he pulled the top
Yes,
on top of it, but you could tell he was in there.
yes.
What? So y'all still playing hide and seek? Even though you admit that he couldn't find you, or he didn't look for you, because he's probably in the suitcase already. He probably already put him in there. But he was supposed to come find you. You decided, I need to go to sleep, came downstairs. You see him putting himself in the suitcase, and somehow he was managed to zip himself up in the suitcase. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around this story. It just makes it still makes no sense to me.
You saw him right away.
Yes.
All right. So at some point, did you zip him up?
Yes.
Did you?
Oh, now you zipped him
And
up.
what was he saying or doing when you were zipping him up?
We just thought it was funny.
Were you both laughing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so you zipped him up. Were y'all still laughing once you zipped him up?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the jury what happened then.
Yeah.
From there, I moved the suitcase around a couple of times, just kind of on the wheels, and moved it around. And at that point, it was funny. We were joking and laughing about it.
So, bitch, you're 98 pounds according to you, and George is 100 bucko 5, let's say. So you were able to move him around in the suitcase, and y'all are approximately the same size, but you were able to move him around in the suitcase. Okay. I don't believe you.
All right, now, eventually, did you go sit down on the couch and get your phone?
Yes.
Did I miss something?
Well, the suitcase had, from me moving it around, was flopped over. So while it was like that, I thought at that point I had a moment to, I guess, take the time to talk to him while I guess he was not able to get out for a moment.
So you flipped it. You got it on the top, right?
Yeah.
He gets in, but at some point you flip it over, so the zipper is on the bottom.
Well, it was just kind of how I was moving it around, and it ended up kind of flopping. So
It was upside down.
yes.
So after you did that, what did you do?
That's when I went over and decided to videotape to just see the, I guess the jest in it, for him to understand that right now I feel safe, and right now I have the ability to actually speak to you in a manner that normally I would not have the ability to.
Oh my, what in gay hell? So now you're scared. So we've gone from playing hide and seek, and we were laughing, to he's in the suitcase, and now I feel safe, and now I can talk to you about whatever, even though we've been drinking and playing and having a wang dang do of a time. But now I'm battered, and let's go.
Do.
And you were intoxicated,
Yes.
and you would agree that you said some things you should not have,
Yes.
but you realized he could not get out and get at you. Is that fair?
At that moment, yes.
What?
So it goes.
Wait a minute. So then you knew at that moment that he could not get out of the suitcase. So you knew he couldn't.
On for about 10 minutes.
Hey,
You
Ao.
heard it here today, did you not?
Yes.
You heard his voice as he
Hey,
was speaking
Kiki.
from the suitcase.
Yes.
That was his voice on the video and audio.
Yes.
And you heard your voice on the video and audio.
Yes.
That was your voice.
Yes.
All those things said by the man were said by George in that 2-minute video.
Correct.
All the words said by the female were said by you in that 2-minute video.
Correct.
Were you intending on showing him the video the next day?
Yes.
So you're going to show him the video the next day, but how come you didn't get him out of the freaking suitcase?
At the time or the next day, is it fair to say you don't even remember a videotape?
I do not.
Oh, right.
So, from what you can tell from watching it, did that refresh your memory about that event?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Why did you say all that?
Oh. Quit smirking, ho. You had a punchable face. Now, for some of y'all who don't know, when a person has an insurmountable amount of evidence against them, like Jodi Arias, for instance, the only thing that you can say is that the dude was beating my ass. And this was self-defense. Yeah, I stabbed him 30 times and almost chopped his head off, but I was scared. Look at her smiling. Why are you smiling, ho? Just like I hope these people believe me. These people are stupid enough to believe me that I'm just a sweet, kind, I guess grandmotherly figure because she looks, 60. My parents are in their 70s, look younger than her. Who is she smirking at? Yes, Sarah yes, Sarah and Jody have the same little mousy, I'm so sweet voice. I couldn't hurt anybody. And I don't have any memory of anything that happened. I don't remember, telling him, fuck you, and as he's begging for his life. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember him, me stabbing him, even though there's blood everywhere, and I drug him down the hallway. But I don't remember any of that.
All right, I'm talking about just the 2-minute video part that was recorded. Could you just tell the jury what you were feeling, what your feelings were at the time, and then explain that.
Oh, she got a girlfriend? Are you talking about like a girlfriend? Does she have her liquor license? Or does she just have a female friend? Because a lot of them, they get to the jailhouse and they start, doing some strange for some change. So I'm just curious what you doing.
You mentioned, you talked about it before. You said he was in that confined space and it was my chance. But do you want to elaborate on that? Or?
Sure. I want you all to know that the majority of the time, am always afraid and always scared.
Oh my God.
Right, well, I understand that.
So the Karen is always afraid and always scared. She's always afraid and she's always scared against the big, sweaty, he's not big, the Mexican, Puerto Rican, whatever he is, Hispanic. I'm scared. Girl, bye.
Yeah, I understand that. But would it be fair to say that you had some anger at that point?
I did.
Would it be fair to say that you wanted to tell him off to some degree?
I just wanted, yes, for him to have a better understanding, which was the whole point of the videos and documentation prior.
And you could tell that he was uncomfortable.
But didn't she say that she recorded it because they were laughing that he was in the suitcase? So now she is protecting herself, and she's able to confront him, and she wants to document his behavior. I need you to pick a side, ma'am. Pick a side.
I'm guessing.
And did you want him to feel some uncomfort?
I did.
Okay. Now, at some point, you turned off the video.
Yes.
Yes, AO, I did do a review on her interrogation. What I'll do is I will link it in the chat for you, because I don't know if you want to go back like a year. It's the last time I did it. So I'll link it in the chat.
And then we saw a second video, which was approximately 11 minutes later. And you've seen that video that was played to the jury. It was 22 seconds long.
Yes.
And I don't think you speak in that video. You hear George say Sarah one time.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
So between the 2-minute video and the 22-second video is an 11-minute period. Would you tell the jury what happened?
All of these lies.
Continue to, I guess, speak to one another, and his tone changed, and I knew the tone, and we ended up, I guess, arguing back and forth with one another, and it was the things that he was saying very much frightened me, and cursing at me and threatening me.
There you go, AO.
And
Did he want you to let him out of the suitcase?
I'm sure so.
Okay.
You're sure?
Tell me your.
And it got very heated very quickly, and he continued to push on the suitcase.
To get out.
And my fear was that he was going to break out of the suitcase, knowing that it was a broken suitcase. And his hand started to come through. His hand started to come through this way.
Right.
And so I shook the suitcase. Trying to get his hand to go back in, shaking it, and telling him that, please stop doing this. Please stop doing this to me. Please stop doing this to me.
Are you kidding me? So you. I don't even know what to say. Oh my God, please stop doing this to me. You got him in the suitcase and he is trying to get out. Okay.
So his hand actually got out of the suitcase.
Yes.
And you went to the suitcase.
Yes.
And shook it.
Yes.
Did that force his hand to go back in?
No.
Yeah, you're trying to live.
So you're shaking it. Were you shaking it to try to get the suitcase, his hand back in?
Yes.
How long did you shake it?
I don't know.
But his hand was still out.
Yes.
Was he trying to get out?
Forcefully, yes.
Of course.
Was he angry at you?
Yes.
Yeah. You're locked in the suitcase.
Were you in fear?
Always.
If he would have gotten out of the suitcase, what would he have done to you?
Like he used to tell me, he probably would have made me unrecognizable, or I would have lost my life.
Did you lose the grip on the suitcase?
Yes.
She lost her grip in reality. That's when she lost her grip.
Where was the bat in relation to the suitcase?
It was
Hey, B. Blanco.
leaning up against the dining room table, right there.
How far was the bat from the suitcase?
3 feet, 2 feet.
Was his hand still out of the suitcase?
Yes.
And was he getting out of the suitcase?
He very much was trying. Yes.
And
Yeah?
so what did you do?
For the split second reaction that I had, I happened to see that and I grabbed the baseball bat and
Huh?
was trying to poke his hand to go back in to please don't break through, please. So I hit his hand.
What? So he's trying to get out. You shook the suitcase and then you hit him with a baseball bat? Am I correctly? Did you hit him with a baseball bat to keep him in the suitcase? Girl!
Did you hit the outside part of his hand?
Yes.
We've seen the photographs of his left hand. Did you cause the bruising there?
I'm guessing yes.
Are you guessing you hit him with a baseball bat? No.
You've seen the bat. It's a youth bat.
Yes, I bought it for my son.
Is this the bat you used?
Yes.
And you said you poked him with it?
Yes, I kind of pushed, like I held it with the skinny part here and then
Uh-huh.
So the grip here,
prodded at it. Yes.
you grabbed it with both hands here,
Yes.
and then the barrel of the bat, the big part of the bat is here.
Correct.
And you thrusted it into the different areas of the suitcase?
Oh, that's a pretty large size. That's a regular size bat. She made it seem like it was like a little small, little baby bat or a woofer bat or something. Some little plastic thing that you give a kid.
I started with his hand, and his hand, he was still trying to get out. He was still trying to do that. So I started to push on the suitcase around it, hoping to have his hand retract and go back inside.
Oh, thank you. Now, hold on. Thank you, Kiki. Yes, her tone and voice do not match what she's trying to portray. Oh, yes, Amber Heard. Yes, my dog stepped on the bee. That was freaking hysterical when she said, my dog stepped on the bee, and she get that little face. Oh, that was great. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
You made those injuries.
I did.
We've seen the photographs.
Yes.
We see the bruising. Is that from that bat?
Yes.
Eventually, did his hand go back inside from you doing?
Yes. Finally, he had subsided and retracted his hand.
So in your mind, did you prevent him from attacking you?
Absolutely. Split second decision.
Now, once he retracted his hand, do you remember zipping it up some? Or what did you do in relation? Because he was upside down, was he not, at that point?
Yes,
At some point, you flipped him back up.
I did.
Tell how that happened.
He wasn't cursing. He wasn't threatening. His hand was inside foremost. There was no more of him trying to break through the suitcase.
And I wonder why his hand was in the suitcase and he wasn't trying to break through the suitcase anymore after you hit him with the baseball bat a couple of times. I wonder why he didn't break throughout the suitcase.
So I felt safe enough to turn it back over. It wasn't happening anymore.
Oh, okay. So you flipped him over to keep him in the suitcase because you were afraid for your life. So you had it upside down so he couldn't maneuver. Jesus. Give us strength, Lord. Give us strength, Jesus.
You went back to the video and the couch,
I did, yes.
and we saw the second video,
Yes,
the 22-second, and he's right side up again,
yes,
and you hear him say, Sarah?
yes.
Had you left enough room for him to get out? Zipper to zipper.
Hell
Yes,
no.
that's how his hand was trying.
That suitcase has 2 zippers, doesn't it? And they meet at various places along the line?
Correct.
How much room, when you flipped it over, how much room was between zipper to zipper?
I don't know specifically. I mean, it was enough to where his hand was coming out.
So here's my question. Since you're an alleged battered dumb bitch. Since you're recording this evidence for George to see himself, why didn't you record the evidence of any of this abuse and this fear? So, like, he's coming out of the suitcase, trying to attack her, according to you. So, why don't you have that on recording? Why do you just have him saying, Sarah, Sarah, I can't breathe. Sarah, help. Why was there none of the violence? And I'm fearful. Why was that not recorded? I'm
After you had hit him with the bat, was he not trying to get out anymore?
No.
yeah. Exactly. Lie.
Did you believe that he could breathe in there?
Yes.
Did you ever believe he could die in there?
No. At all.
Were you trying to kill him?
Never.
Did you?
Girl, please. And yeah, no one tries to kill someone, or just because I think that I can fly doesn't make it so. Freak.
You want to kill him?
I did not.
No, no, ma'am, I do not. It don't make sense.
Did you walk upstairs?
I did, yes.
Why didn't you let him out before you walked upstairs?
Come on.
Were you
Come on.
afraid?
Terrified is more of the word.
Terrified.
As long as he was in the suitcase, he couldn't harm you.
Correct.
When he's Did you want him to calm down?
Ew.
Yes, I wanted him to stop being angry because I know what it is for him to be angry.
You went upstairs.
But he was angry because you were in the suitcase. You put him in the
What was it
suitcase.
all?
The dogs ran upstairs with me.
And
Brian
where
went
did they
too?
go?
On the bed.
Did you have the phone with you?
Yes,
Of course you had it.
I know at some point you called your husband, Brian, did you not?
I did.
Why not the police? Because you were
Do you recall
terrified.
how long that conversation was?
Not very long.
But you were terrified. Why didn't you call the police? You had your phone. He was subdued in the suitcase and you beat him a few times with the baseball bat. Why didn't you call the police? What normal person is being attacked in the home that you're terrified? You say in mortal terror of this person, and you go upstairs to go to sleep. If it don't make sense, it is not true.
Can you recall what was said?
I don't remember exactly. No, I don't.
Make sure you smashing that like button whether you come in or out, please, and thank you.
This time? Sarah Boone, who said that when he was in the suitcase, he was threatening you. Can you tell the jury what he was saying?
Well, here it comes.
I don't know. Am I allowed to curse?
Yes.
And with none of this shit recorded now, you got him in the suitcase, you're recording him begging for his life, but the stuff that really would support the fact that you're being abused, you don't record.
That he was going to fucking end me. And that's what made me ask him please to stop doing what he's doing to me. That he was going to, I'm guessing, try his best that night to probably take my life.
But what
Wow.
the threat you heard was he's
going to
say the
fucking
word.
end me.
Excuse me?
Fucking end me.
Y'all remember Jodi Arias said something similar? She said that after Travis was, got angry at her for dropping the camera when she was taking those pictures of him in the shower, she said that Travis said, fucking kill you, bitch. And then that was in her mind what scared her. And so, the stabbing and the shooting and all this other stuff, we don't remember, but that's what scared her. And so she was trying to fight for her life. Same freaking story. The same freaking story. Just she's older and uglier, but it's the same story.
And you?
Yes.
I still watch Jodi Arias trial.
Yes, sir.
I still watch Jodi.
Judge, will you approach your bench?
Yes.
She has such a punchable freaking face. Right, Kayla. I wouldn't blame him for threatening to kill her either, because you got him locked, trapped in a suitcase, and you just beat him with the baseball bat. I'd be threatening you too. I've been looking for Kirk Nermy's book. That Jodi Arias trial was absolutely great, especially the sex call that they did. Oh man. Like, who sits there and y'all are having a sex dirty phone call and they record? This was back in the 2006, before real smartphones came out.
All right, members of the jury, it is 2:14. I have a matter that I have to discuss with counsel at this point in time outside of your presence. So I'm going to ask you to retire to the deliberation room. We'll bring you back in as promptly as possible. Again, similar instruction that I've given you. Please do not conduct any independent investigation.
Blah, blah, blah. You want to skip ahead when they come back? Oh, it's bad? Juan Martinez wrote a book, and there's also, if you look at it, look for it on YouTube, the actual audio book is on YouTube for you to listen to. So you just got to type in Juan Martinez audio book or Jodi Arias audio book, and you can find it that way and listen to it for free. He sure did get this bar. Juan was a guilty of prosecutorial misconduct and sexual harassment. And Kirk Nermy got this bar because he wrote the book and revealed some things about Jodi, I think.
State, you recognize the jury. Yes, sir. Defense, you recognize our jury.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All can be seated. Members of the jury, again, you could, once seated, raise your hands to confirm that you complied with the court's instructions.
Blah, blah, blah.
Ms. Boone? So I think we left off.
With lies, correct.
You had
Hey,
called
Tasha.
your ex-husband.
Yes.
All right. After you called your ex-husband, what happened after that?
Not shit.
I ended up falling asleep.
Wait a minute. Who's a stand-up comic? Not Kurt Nerby. He's a stand-up comic? Please tell me please tell me that that's not who the stand-up comic is. Look, the judge was side-eyeing Sarah the whole day. Nermy is a stand-up. Wow. Okay.
Do you remember waking up the next morning?
Yes.
Did you sleep in?
Not intentionally.
So you're afraid for your life. The individual who just threatened to kill you and said they was going to end you, you just call your ex-husband and crawl under the sheets and go to sleep?
Okay.
Uncapitulated.
You didn't get up at 8 o'clock, did you?
No.
Did you wake up closer to noon?
I believe so, yes.
Did you check the time?
No.
Now, did you hear your phone ringing?
Yes, my phone.
And did you answer it right away?
No.
Do you know approximately how many times it rang before you answered it?
I believe the call was about 3 times.
Did you know who was calling?
I figured it was my ex-husband.
And why would he be calling?
To make sure that I was still on schedule to pick up our son.
At 3 that afternoon?
Correct.
And he goes to school there close by?
Yes.
So no mention of the dude trying to kill you and you was afraid for your life, and there's no mention of that. I slept till noon and then spoke to my ex-husband to make sure he was on track for picking up the kid. Yes, please make sure y'all smash that like button whether you come in or out, please, and thank you.
All right. When you woke up, did you stay in bed for a while?
For a little while, yes.
Oh, we lounged
All right,
too.
tell the jury what happened when you got up.
So she lounged around too after she woke up. So she didn't automatically get up and say, oh my God, this major thing happened to me. It was, I woke up. Oh, shit, I drank a whole lot last night. Let me just lay here in the bed. Wade Wilson's phone call. Who is Wade Wilson? Tell me who Wade Wilson is. That's like the crazy dude with all the white supremacists with all the stuff on his face, all the tattoos. Is that him?
I knew it was my ex-husband calling repeatedly.
Okay.
I didn't answer right away because one of our problems is that he doesn't understand that I'm doing things around the apartment and looking for jobs and so on and so forth. So I inevitably just let it ring, and I laid in the bed, and I figured that George was downstairs either drinking or looking for jobs or may have just left. And so eventually I decided to get out of the bed and start moving to go downstairs. I was motivated enough to go downstairs.
You dumb bitch. You said that he was in the suitcase and you beat him with the bat so his hands wouldn't come out the suitcase. So how the hell did he get out the suitcase for him to go continue drinking or go look for jobs? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And when I went downstairs, it was very quiet. So I had the understanding, I believed that he had left. And
Did you check to see if he was, where would he be looking for a job at?
Usually on the couch, he would have my son's laptop, and he and I, which we would share.
Y'all only have the son's laptop?
Correct.
And the TV was not working at this time?
The TV was not there.
Okay. So you thought he would be in the living room on the laptop?
Yes.
He was not there?
No.
Where else did you look for him?
I looked on the back porch. I went through the front door to see if my car was there, thinking maybe he had taken my car.
So you went downstairs, or are you able to look out on the back porch when you go back to the last place you saw him? Did you come downstairs? I don't know the layout of the house. So when she comes downstairs, was the suitcase in a close proximity to the stairs, or was it off a ways to where she could come down and walk to the back porch and look out for the car? It's a 2-bedroom townhome, so it's not that big. So I'm still confused. This makes no sense.
I checked the bathroom, and when I was checking the bathroom, I saw the suitcase. And
Oh!
I remember about the night prior.
Then you remember. Right.
I unzipped the suitcase
Let me
and
stop you there.
Oh, now you unzip it. Now it's unzipped.
You said you were in the bathroom when you saw the suitcase, or coming out of the bathroom?
no, where our bathroom is, I would have to go to the bathroom here. And then when I turned around, I noticed the suitcase and I remembered.
How did you feel when you saw the suitcase?
I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that before.
Describe it to the jury.
I guess it was, I was aghast, and I just can't describe the feeling.
Bless you.
It was terror to
Bless you.
a certain degree.
I'm sorry, say that again now.
It was terror to a certain degree.
Terror.
I just can't describe it in words, the feeling.
Because you have no feeling.
Remembering. And then he was still in there.
So what did you do?
I immediately unzipped the suitcase, and I was screaming, George, 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 and I was shaking him, and I pulled him out, and I stretched him out flat, and then I began instantly trying to do CPR, and then was trying to look for a pulse or a breath or just anything, and was just screaming his name over and over and over again, and come on, George, and I continued CPR, and I continued CPR, and he was gurgling. And
What color was it?
what color was he?
Yes.
He was purple.
At some point, did you call your ex-husband?
Yes, when he started to gurgle, and I knew that my ex-husband is notorious for bringing my son over in very inopportune times when George is possibly drunk or doing things not appropriate for my son to see. And I just didn't know what to do. It was just a quick knee-jerk reaction. Ryan was kind of my go-to person because of my family being deceased, and I don't have anyone else that I can call. And I just wanted to ensure that he would not bring my son over.
Bitch, call Ghostbusters. I thought that you were supposed to pick your son up from school. You were on track to pick him up at 3. Why in the hell would Brian be coming over with the kid if the kid was in school waiting for your bitch ass?
In the process of all of this, at some point,
So you called him.
I called him.
Did you ask him what to do? Or did you just tell him to come over?
I just told him to come over.
Oh,
Did you tell him that you felt like George was dead?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you felt like it or knew?
And how far? You said it's 5 minutes from house to house?
Yes.
Did you call him back?
Yes, because he was taking so long. It felt the seconds were hours. Yes.
Why the hell didn't you call 911? Why would you call your ex-husband for? Unless you did something deliberately and you're trying to ask, what can I do? What can I say that people won't think that that I did it, anything wrong? You're trying to concoct a story. This is Death Becomes Her storyline. You remember those of y'all who watched it, Goldie Hawn's character, I can't remember her name, but Goldie Hawn's character came up with a plan to rid Bruce Willis's character from Madeline. That was Meryl Streep's character. They had a plan on this, and then dude pushed Madeline down the stairs, and after she'd taken the potion. Well, anyway, this is the same story. This is the same lie.
I'm still doing CPR at the same time in the process of it. I'm doing CPR, I don't know how many times.
Did he get there?
Yes.
Did he walk in?
Yes.
Did he walk out?
Yes.
What did he tell you to do?
Call 911.
What did you do?
I called 911.
I tell
Is
you
that the
how.
recording we've heard here in this trial?
Yes.
So, bitch, somebody had to tell you to call 911 when you got a dude in a suitcase that's purple and gurgling, and you've been doing CPR. 911 didn't occur to you at all? Nowhere? 911 at all?
Did you love George?
To this day.
Girl, bye. Girl, bye.
Why did you love him?
George was very passionate. George was a very real person. George was nice to me on the good days. George complimented me.
On the good day.
George and I were two bodies with one soul, he and I would always say. I don't believe that I've ever had a connection with anyone like I have with George.
Did you have that connection with your ex-husband?
I did not.
Was it even close?
No.
So the love of your life, y'all are the same person. Y'all are two people with one soul. Y'all are soulmates. This is the love of your life. And you repay the love of your life. See, and you look on her face, she rolled eyes because she know that shit's a lie. You, the person that you love the most and have the closest connection with, you repay him with suffocating him and beating him with the baseball bat in the suitcase and leaving him in there, taunting him as he's dying. But then the bitch that you don't love, your ex-husband, he's alive. For the one that you love, you killed him. All right, let's go.
George has some good traits, doesn't
Very much.
he? Did George have some bad traits?
He did.
Well, he's a human being. Nobody is all good or all bad. Well, some people are all evil, but people have good traits. I mean, you could say Adolf Hitler had a good traits. David Koresh. David Koresh has some good traits. Jim Jones has some good traits. Nature Boy has some good traits. Doesn't make him a good person. But you said he's a good person with some negative traits. That's all of us. That's all of us.
Did you drink too much?
Yes.
I did.
Did George drink too much?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell the jury about George's drinking.
Oh.
If George was able to, he would drink from sun up to sundown. And me having my son and trying to work and maintain the home and just have a normal life as best as I could, somehow that upset George. And because I had a certain dollar amount from my divorce settlement, at one point it was from wine we could afford vodka. So a lot of the times he would take my card, my debit card, and go buy the large, we call them handles, of vodka, which is the big bottle. And sometimes he would finish that all off on his own throughout an entire period of a day into an evening. That's honestly where I thought that he was going to be that morning when I came downstairs, because he's notorious for just automatically already being outside from drinking all the time.
How would he get there if he was in a suitcase?
And you said you have an alcohol problem. George has an alcohol problem.
Yes.
Oh, B. Blanco, the state rested. So this is on the defense's case in chief.
How did George's drinking adversely affect you?
It would debilitate my ability to help him the way that I was always trying to help him, because it would be one good day, a day of survival, and then it would be another day where I'm having to peel him off of me and call 911.
Why would he get that way? Tell us his pattern as it relates to drinking and then object.
Yeah, the state rested.
Approach.
Yeah, the state rested. We're on defense. See, I know that y'all expect, a long, drawn-out trial. Yeah, the state should get rebuttal. They have a rebuttal case. So maybe when they have the rebuttal, they, take advantage of the rebuttal, then maybe they'll have someone else that will speak on George's behalf. I'm sure we'd like to hear from George's kids or his multitude of ex-wives. I mean, like no emotion. She's got those dead shark eyes like Eileen and like Darrell. Like there's no emotion there. I mean, at least Darrell cried somewhat, but it was about himself though. But still, I mean, at least there was something there. And his anger, you can't forget his wonderful anger on Yellow Shirt Day, Box Fort Day.
Objections overruled for now.
All right, there we go. Yes, Sasha. If anyone can make a victim impact statement at sentencing, so I'm sure that we'll definitely hear from the family during sentencing, because this hoe is going to prison.
You already got the 3.5 years.
Yes.
Is there times when he would get to a state of intoxication where he would get violent against you?
Quite often.
Judge, can I approach the witness?
Yes. As long as you show it to the state first, please.
I know he tired. I bet you this attorney, he's really 45, or he's really in his 30s and dealing with this nut and age just like this. Hey, Robin.
Defense.
Okay.
Identification key. There's 2 photographs. Could you look at those photographs and see if you recognize those?
I do.
Those 2 pictures of your body,
Yes.
do they show injuries to your body?
Yes.
Were those injuries caused by George Torres?
Yes.
Are those photographs a fair and accurate depiction of the injuries you sustained at the hands of George Torres?
On this occurrence, yes.
Do you remember this occurrence?
I don't. It was so often.
You don't remember a specific date,
I don't.
but you're sure that that's you?
Yes.
Is that the injuries that what's the injury to the rib cage?
I don't remember specifically. These may be the pictures. So, when we used to go over to his brother's house, one of his brothers and his.
Sustained.
You don't have to answer the
Oh.
question. Do you know what happened to? Did George cause these injuries?
Yes.
All right. Were y'all both drinking at that time?
I don't remember on this instance.
Okay. Judge, I'd like to move this exhibit to evidence.
Okay. What was pre-marked as P
I wish we could see the pictures.
will be received into evidence without objection as Defense Exhibit 2.
I'm not sure. I ever heard this.
Mr. Owens, may I get into time, just in a word, please? Thank you.
Mr. J, would you be so kind? Thank you.
And I need to ask permission from Mr.
Yes, sir. You may do so.
This is not Judge.
Looks like I think there's a wheel on the top where you can use to big.
Oh,
Ms. Boone, is that you?
Yes.
Are those injuries to your arm?
Yes.
Were they caused by George Torres?
Yes.
And during the same incident, is this you?
Yes.
Is that an injury or bruise to your rib cage area
Yes.
and your arm?
Yes.
hey, Ruby. Hey, Natural.
I'll show you identification, defense identification Q. See if you recognize that photograph.
Yes.
Is that your thigh?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember this incident?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what happened?
I wanted to take my dogs for a walk and get off of the back porch.
Were y'all drinking?
Yes. And he was upset that I would rather go walk my dogs than sit there and continue to drink. So he slapped my thigh as hard as he possibly could and said that you're not going anywhere. And it was a good smack on my thigh.
On the side.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the the wound that you suffered as a result of George Torres slapping you on the thigh?
Yes.
Judge, I'd like to offer Q in evidence.
Objection.
What was pre-marked as Q will be received into evidence without objection as defense 3.
So y'all remember Jodi Arias was claimed that Travis punched her and kicked her finger, kicked her in the ribs, and then it hurt her finger. And remember, her finger was allegedly bent, and so she couldn't hold it straight. It was just sort of gang signs in the trial because she couldn't hold her finger straight. But she injured her finger from stabbing Travis. But according to her, Travis kicked her. And of course, she didn't seek any medical attention either.
You may, sir.
And for the jury's sake, is this the photograph you just mentioned?
Yes.
Let's show you identification, defense identification S. See if you recognize that photograph.
I do.
Oh, is that your hand?
Yes.
Is that your blood on your hand?
Yes, it is.
Is that you standing, looks like in a room with flip-flops?
This is in the kitchen at Brian's house.
Okay, what happened there?
So George was very drunk, and I wanted to leave, and he's notorious for taking my car keys and putting them around his neck and my phone in his crotch area and telling me to come get them. And I really wanted to leave because of how drunk, and I knew the escalation of his anger. I didn't want to be there when it was at its peak. So I tried to take my keys from around him because he kept taunting me to take my keys, come get your keys. And so I attempted to go and get my keys. And so he ended up getting a butcher knife. And I had an opportunity to call Brian to come and help me, to please come pick me up, to come get me. And
So George came at you with a butcher knife, and you didn't call the police yet again. You called your ex-husband for a ride. I believe they were both abusive to each other, because they were both alcoholics. So yeah, two things can be true at the same time. They were both alcoholics, and they probably put their hands on each other. That's what it sounds like to me, anyway.
of course, he brings my son with him. And so I'm in the parking lot asking Brian to please help me get my car keys away from him. And there's neighbors, and it's a scene at this point. And George comes to the doorway of my townhome wielding the butcher knife, saying that, do I curse?
Yeah.
That no one's going to take her fucking keys. No one's going to fucking come into this house. And he's waving the butcher knife. And I walked up to him, and I just wanted to leave. And my little son, who was, I believe, 7 or 8 at the time, just is screaming, give mommy her keys, give mommy her keys, let her leave. Brian was even trying to negotiate with him, saying, please, you know she'll come back, just let her leave. So I went up to try and take the keys from him.
So nobody called the police? You have a child there, and the dude is wielding a butcher knife and won't give your keys to leave, so you're being held, you're being kidnapped, technically, and nobody calls the police? Nobody? You know why you didn't call the police? Because you're lying.
And he was pulling on them, and I ended up pulling harder, and he pulled them back again to try to pull me in the house, and I pulled them even harder, and it ripped my finger. And at one point, I had lost the fingernail, and the tip of my pinky was severely gashed.
Judge, I'd like to offer this to the evidence.
Okay. What was it pre-marked as, Counselor?
Just like S, but not court of the evidence.
What was pre-marked as defense S will be received into evidence without objection as defense 4.
Ms. Boone, will the jury say, is this the picture you were referring to?
Oh, that's nasty looking.
I believe so, yes.
That was some nuclear combat going on right there.
Now I'm showing you a composite identification L, 2 photographs. Can you look at those photographs and tell the jury what they are?
I wanted to eat, and while he was drinking, went and made myself, as quickly as I possibly could, a microwave bowl of, I believe it was broccoli and cheddar soup. And I didn't get it out enough time, and he came up behind me and he slapped it out of my hand. And it was a 2nd-degree burn. I went to the hospital for it.
Were those fair and accurate depictions of the injury, the burn to your thigh?
Yes.
We'd like to offer identification L into evidence.
What was pre-marked as L will be received into evidence without objection as defense 5.
Permission.
Yes, sir.
You had to go to the hospital as a result of these injuries to your thigh?
Yes. It was extremely painful.
Is that a depiction of the burn?
Yes.
Is this red the burn, or these little spots here the burn? I'm confused. Is this all supposed to be the burn? Because it looks like, like her complexion. She looks pale here, and then it's red in this area with these, I don't know if these are some melanomas or what.
Is that your thigh?
My thigh, yes.
And your knee?
Yes.
Lord. That's like a raw chicken wing. Her leg is that little? That's her thigh? Hey, Mavis, welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you, Mavis.
Sorry, I'm showing you composite exhibit for identification K, 4 photographs. Did you look at those all 4 before commenting? This is a longer story, isn't it? Go ahead and tell.
So
Come on.
George stabbed me in my leg. I almost bled to death.
All right, well, let's go back
Okay, Shirley, have a good
and
night.
explain what led up to that.
I thought it would be nice to cook a nice steak dinner. We don't have 2 nickels to rub together, so I thought it would be special to make a steak dinner and baked potato and go above the normal whatever's left over in the refrigerator. And so I spent a lot of time doing that, and George is drinking the entire time, and on the back porch.
You were drinking as well, were you not?
I was drinking. He was on the back porch while I was in the house and I was cooking. And it was one of those where maybe if I start making dinner now, it will be over at a particular time and we can go to bed at a reasonable time. And I even put it in the bedroom and had a movie set up for us to watch. So it would just kind of be dinner in bed. And then he came upstairs and saw that I had made the steak dinner, and I don't know how to describe how drunk he was, but it definitely was not George. And had him come lay on the bed, sit on the bed, and, put the, I got the dogs out, and I presented him with the steak dinner, and sat down and was getting ready to start playing the movie. And he starts being very rude and cursing the steak and finding fault with it. And then, I'm having to encourage him to eat. If you want me to cut it up for you, I will cut it up for you. Did you want some more sour cream for your potato? What can I do to make you happier? And then he started to pull on me and kept saying that, that I just want to fuck you on the steak and fuck you on the potatoes.
What?
And I took offense to that, and I kept trying to encourage him to eat.
I need to hear this one more again. Was the movie before or after playing hide and seek? This is a different day because George was beating her ass. So he's talking about one of the beat downs that she has a picture for.
That I just want to fuck you on the steak and fuck you on the potatoes. And then he started to pull on me and kept saying that, that I just want to fuck you on the steak and fuck you on the potatoes.
What type of retarded shit is that? I want to fuck you on the steak and on the potatoes. Hey, Nene. The steak was raw. Everything was raw. She can't cook. I wouldn't go to her house and expect any actual food. That's why she was 98 pounds and George was 100 pounds, because she cooks bullshit.
And I took offense to that, and I kept trying to encourage him to eat. I started to eat.
Is this just him really drunk and saying nonsense?
I don't know why he was so angry that day. I don't know if it's because I was.
Oh, now he's angry.
I got steak. I don't know. Most of the time I don't know the reason why. I couldn't take it anymore. Obviously, I was not going to be able to eat. So I started to crawl off of the bed to leave, just the bedroom. And he told me again that I'm not going anywhere. And he stabbed me in my leg, and it crunched. You could hear a noise that it made, and blood just started to come out of my leg, just like a fountain. So I got off of the bed. He's starting to freak out, and
call 911.
Grabbed me a towel. I got a wet towel, and I'm sitting here holding the towel, and it's increasingly becoming even more and more saturated by the minute. It's just minutes. So I'm going through towels, and I said, George, I think I need to go to the hospital. This is not stopping to bleed. This is serious. And he got on his knees and begged me, please don't call the police. Please don't call the police. Please don't call the police. And inevitably, he went and got my car keys and put them around his neck again, and my cell phone. So I was not able to call anyone, and I wasn't able to leave in my car. So I figured I would just go downstairs, and I'm just going to go downstairs. And I had propped my foot up on the glass table that we had, and blood is just everywhere. Blood is everywhere. I can't keep up with the amount of blood, and I'm starting to feel very weak and really weird. And he comes downstairs, and he's still begging me, please don't call 911. Please don't call 911. I kept telling him, there's something, this is serious. This is something. Because he knew that he would probably get arrested or something bad would happen to him. So I couldn't take him anymore. He was just all over me, and just, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding very badly, and he's having me try to console him. And I kept telling him, please, I need to call 911, please. And I said, okay, just give me a moment. And I crawled upstairs to my son's bathroom, which is the furthest bathroom away from everything. And I remember holding onto the sink, and I looked into the mirror, and my lips were blue. And I knew I needed help. I needed help.
You need some help.
And he came upstairs looking frantic for me, calling my name. And then I turned to him and I said, please, I'm going to die. I've lost a lot of blood. There's something wrong. My lips are blue. Please, please, we don't have to call an ambulance. If you could just take me, I'll drive whatever I can do, please, to go to the hospital for this.
Oh, bitch, you on the verge of death and you can drive? There's blood everywhere and you're scared, but you can drive? Girl, please stop it.
He said that before anything happens, I had to concoct a story in order for him to not be arrested or be in trouble when we did inevitably get to the hospital. So I'm sitting there with this blood-soaked towel with blue lips, trying to come up with a story of what I can tell them when I go down there so he's not in trouble, and telling him that it's okay. And I came up with the story of that we were sword fighting silly after drinking with our steak knives, and he accidentally punctured my leg. And from there,
Y'all was sword fighting with steak knives? That's the excuse y'all came up with? Huh. Some people don't need to commit crime. You're going to get caught. You're not good at it. Some of us, we do not need to commit crimes. I would be a horrible criminal. That's why I don't commit crime. You don't need to commit crime.
there,
How did you get to the hospital?
originally, he told me to drive, and because of the amount of alcohol that he drank, and I couldn't. So he got into the driver's seat and drove me, and the entire time he's barking at me to make sure that I get the story straight. We're sword fighting, okay? We were drunk,
Did you go
being
to the
silly.
emergency room?
Yes,
All right, and did you get treated there?
yes. I was bloody, and
And
Let me
stupid.
show you the photograph. I'll show you this. All right, is this a fair and accurate depiction?
Yes, she does.
Injury to your leg?
yes, I had to go to 2 different hospitals for it.
And you lied to medical personnel about how this happened?
Yes, they brought in sheriffs and everything.
Was it consistent with, they brought in sheriffs? Did you have to answer to the law enforcement officer?
Yes,
Did you stick with the story that you and George had agreed?
I did.
Judge, I'd like to offer this composite exhibit.
Okay.
What was pre-marked as K will be received into evidence without objection as defendant 6. You may publish, sir.
Thank you. And is this you at the hospital?
Yes.
Is this the stab wound to your leg?
Yes. Never.
Is this a close-up of the stab wound?
Yes.
And was that, did you hurt your foot?
No, due to the injury, I had other problems with the surgery.
Okay. But you eventually recovered?
Eventually, yes.
Do you have a scar to that effect?
I do.
So could you step down and show the video?
Mr. J,
Okay.
you may.
Come on, Jody.
There's a lock, sir. Out.
All right, I don't know how best to be this judge because we've got this ball.
They can probably see it from there.
Man, I wish this banner wasn't here.
It's up here as an image. All right, I'm showing you identification T. You recognize that photograph?
I do. Yes.
All right. Looks like you got an injury to your lip and to your face. Do you recall this event?
I was trying to sleep, and
Have y'all been drinking?
I'm sure.
Yes, y'all were
I know that
drinking.
He had been drinking. This was one of the instances where I would go upstairs to try to go to sleep. And
But y'all drank together a lot, did you not?
sometimes, yes.
But there were times where he wanted to stay up and continue to drink and you wanted to go to bed.
Many times, yes.
You were done, he was not.
Correct.
Was that one of these times?
Yes.
So tell us what happened.
I'm sleeping in the bed, sound asleep, and he comes into the room and grabs me by my hair a lot of the times. And from here, he scratched me from trying to grab me, and then grabbed my hair and pulled me off of the bed, and then raked my face across the carpet. These are carpet burns.
To your lips?
Yes.
What about to the, looks like the eyebrow area?
That's from where from grabbing me, scratched me, and got a hold of me by my hair.
Why was he mad at you?
Because I wasn't downstairs with him
He wanted you to be drinking with him?
all the time.
All right, I'd like to introduce identification T and evidence.
What was pre-marked as T will be received into evidence without objection. It's Defense Exhibit 7.
Oh, permission. Oh.
You may, sir.
Do you see the injury between the eyes and the injury to the lip,
Yes.
as you described?
Yes, and then the blood going down my eye, yes.
Showing you would have been marked as exhibit for identification, or defense exhibit. You for identification?
Yes,
Can you describe that photograph?
I can.
Go ahead.
This was the first time that I ever called 911. George and I had gone to a bar across the street within walking distance, and at some point, I asked a guy, or he asked me, somehow or another, it was over a cigarette. And he left, and I didn't know where he went, and the bartender said, oh, he left. He took your car and he left. So,
Why would he do that?
well, I found out when I got home, it was because I spoke to another man. And so I paid the tab, and I walked home, and he's sitting on the back porch with the handle of vodka, and I was walking on eggshells and terrified and kind of treaded lightly when I came in, and he acted all natural and fine. So I didn't know the reason why that he had just gotten up and left with my car. So then he calls me a whore, and then he calls me a slut, and then he calls me a cunt, and gets up and pushes me.
Remember, Jody Arias said the exact same thing about Travis. Remember, she was a three-hole wonder. She was a bitch. She was a whore. All type of stuff. Same story. Uglier defendant.
And he pushed me with both of his hands so hard that we have this little area where our washer and dryer is, and there are metal doors that are on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he pushed me into the metal door.
Mm.
And then I fell back, and he got his knees on top of me on my arms here, so I was pinned down, and was starting to strangle me and hit my head up against the metal closet over and over and over and over and over it again, and calling me a fucking whore, and you're such a slut, and fuck you, and everything. And my tongue was flopping out of my mouth, and I thought I was going to bite my tongue off, and because of the amount of noise I guess my head was making on the metal door, he slid me down and got back on me, and then started to strangle me again. And it was on we have carpet, but it's like concrete. And I was able to
Carpet is like concrete? Okay.
get my arms out from underneath and grab his throat and get him off of me. So I got him off of me and I pushed him off, and he came up and he goes, "You fucking bitch." And he stomped my face.
What?
And the next thing I know, I woke up. I obviously
Did you
blacked
get knocked
out.
down?
I obviously, I guess, yes. And he was passed out on the floor, and I woke up frantic looking for my phone, and I immediately called 911.
Oh, now you call 911.
Police arrived on that incident.
Yes, they did.
Is this a fair and accurate depiction of the injury you sustained as a result of him kicking you?
Stomping, yes.
A stomp?
Stomp.
With his
All I
heel?
saw was his heel.
This is, we ask that this be identification you be admitted together.
Okay.
What was pre-marked as you will be received without objection is defense 8.
Like, as a Black person, B. Blanco, I don't hear people using the C word that much either. Now, like, I'll watch some of the like the balls, the in New York and stuff, and they'll be like, or drag race, and they'll be like, I'm feeling real fishy, I'm feeling cunty, like that I've heard, but I've never heard just so and so's a cunt. I've never heard that before. Oh Lord, girl.
Was that the next day, or is that a few days later?
That's a couple of days later.
And that's the bruising from the kicking of his eye?
Yes.
Now, the police were called, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to go through your journey. Showing you identification V, defense. Do you recognize that? You have to see it.
Yes.
Can you identify that picture?
Yes.
Is that your leg?
Yes.
And is that was like the injury to your knee?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the injury you sustained to your knee?
Yes.
Do you remember how that happened?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury?
I was trying to get off of the back porch, and he grabbed me and pushed me, and it was a rock or a really sharp piece of mold from him grabbing me and pushing me onto the ground, and I guess I just happened to hit my knee just right on whatever it was.
Were y'all drinking?
Yes.
Why did he push you?
Because I wanted to get off of the back porch.
And he wanted to stay out there?
Yes.
He wanted you to be with him? What's the deal with him wanting to be with you all the time?
Security, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Did you do your best to please him?
And then some, yes.
All right, I'd like to introduce the evidence identification.
Okay.
What was pre-marked as V will be received into evidence without objection is defense 9.
Now, Ms. Boone, were you treated for this, or did you self-treat? Show the jury now.
No, that was just, I got the first aid kit that I had for my son, and I just cleaned it up.
You what?
I said I got the first aid kit that I had for my son, and I just cleaned it up and put a Band-Aid on it.
All right, I'm showing you identification W. Defense identification. You recognize that photograph?
Yes.
What is that photograph of?
This is a photograph of my arm.
And that fair and accurate depiction of the arm with some type of injury?
Yes.
You remember this event?
Multiple times, yes.
Well, I'm talking about this isolated event where this photograph was taken, the injury you sustained.
Yep.
Who injured your arm?
George Torres.
You remember this event?
Yes.
Did you tell the jury about it?
Yep.
This was one of the instances where I would try to pull away from him, and I don't know how my arm started to do this, but from him pulling from this way, how hard he would pull, with me trying to struggle to get away from him, it would leave these bloody under the skin splotches.
So he wouldn't hit you sometimes, he would just grab you and pull you.
Yes, from me trying to pull away from him, that's the point of it doing this, from me pulling away from him.
Now, this is one of the many times y'all are both intoxicated.
I mean, I can't say for sure that, yes, but
Yeah.
whenever it would happen, yes,
Yeah.
I would be thinking.
Identification, W, and evidence.
Okay.
It was pre-marked as W, will be received into evidence without objection as Defense Exhibit 10.
See, I think this is like a situation with Rihanna and Chris Brown where Rihanna like attacked him in the Lambo, and Rihanna got that enormous forehead, so it's like a bull charging, and she hit him, and then Chris hit her, and it was a fight. It was a mutual combat. I believe these two are used to fighting, mutual combat. So I don't like the fact that you want to blame this man for all of these things that he did to you, but you're not saying anything that you did to him outside of putting him in the suitcase.
You may, sir.
It doesn't look like a wound or anything.
Objection to commentary.
Sustained.
I'm sorry, tell me. You said.
Yeah, they're beating on each
The
other.
grip, him losing his grip?
Yes, it would be from me pulling away from him, and whatever under the skin it was that it was disturbed from the amount of pressure of him holding and then pulling from me would create those on my arms.
Okay. Judge, show you Defense Exhibit X for identification.
Yes.
And what is that picture of?
This is a picture of my ear, side of my head.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction
Yes.
of the injury you sustained by George Torres?
Yes.
Do you remember this event?
Yes.
Were you drinking?
I at the time was not drinking.
On this event, you had not consumed any alcohol.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I may have earlier. This was another. I was in the bed trying to sleep.
Where was George?
Downstairs drinking.
All right, and so you were wanting to go to bed, and he wanted you to stay down there with him?
Yes, I was in the bed.
All right, tell the jury what happened on this event.
I believe this was the instant where I was in the bed and I used to barricade the door with our dresser.
Why didn't you just lock it?
All of the locks were broken in my home. They were from George taking them, including my son's. At one point I could seek refuge in my son's room, but he broke that one as well.
What? Chuck,
Oh, shoot. God dog it. What was I at? Damn it. Maybe that's God telling me I need to get off. Dang it. Damn it. I don't even know where I was. I'm sorry, y'all. And now I want to act stupid. Let me refresh. All right. Let me see where I need to go. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find where we were. Damn it to hell. Damn it to hell.
This was the first time that I ever called 911.
Okay, we're close by where we were.
And he left, and I didn't know where he went. And the bartender said, "Oh, he
Oh, we way.
over everything." And my tongue was flopping out of my mouth, and I thought I was going.
Okay, we're close.
What was pre-marked as U will be received without objection is defense 8.
Oh. I forgot the point I was trying to make. This wasn't important. Okay. Back too far.
You remember how that happened?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury?
I was trying to get off of the back porch, and he grabbed me and pushed me, and it was a rock or a really peach.
Okay, we're on the knee.
Even to
Yep, we're on the knee.
Yep.
Who injured your arm?
George
Sorry, y'all.
You remember this event?
Yes.
Can you tell the jury about it?
This was one of the instances where I would try to pull away from him, and I don't know how my arm started to do this, but from him pulling from this way, how hard he would pull, with me trying to struggle to get away from him, it would leave these bloody under the skin splotches.
So he wouldn't hit you sometimes, he would just grab you and pull you.
Yes, from me trying to pull away from him, that's the point of it doing this, from me pulling away from him.
Now, this is one of the many times y'all were both intoxicated.
I mean, I can't say for sure that, yes, but whenever it would happen, yes, we would be drinking.
Identification, W, and evidence.
Okay.
what was pre-marked as W will be received into evidence without objection as defense exhibit 10. You may, sir.
All right, it doesn't look like a wound or anything.
Objection to commentary.
Sustained.
I'm sorry, tell me, you said it's just from the grip, him losing his grip?
Yes, it would be from me pulling away from him, and whatever under the skin it was that it was disturbed from the amount of pressure of
Thank you,
him
Shauna. Welcome,
pulling
welcome.
and then pulling from me would create those on my arms.
Okay. Judge, show you defense exhibit X for identification.
Yes.
And what is that picture of?
This is a picture of my ear, side of my head.
All right, there we go.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction
Yes.
of the injury you sustained by George Torres?
Yes.
Do you remember this event?
Yes.
Were you drinking?
I at the time was not drinking.
On this event, you had not consumed any alcohol.
I mean, I may have earlier. This was another. I was in the bed trying to sleep.
Where was George?
Downstairs drinking.
All right, and so you were wanting to go to bed, and he wanted you to stay down there with him?
Yes, I was in the bed.
All right, tell the jury what happened on this event.
I believe this was the instant where I was in the bed and I used to barricade the door with our dresser.
Why didn't you just lock it?
All of the locks were broken in my house.
Or
They were from George taking them in, including my son's. At one point, I could seek refuge in my son's room, but he broke that one as well.
what? Tell me, explain how that happens. Tell the jury. We can't read your mind.
George wants me, which he has told me numerous times, that I am to be with him at all times and doesn't like to be apart from me or away from me. So whenever it was even just to go to the bathroom, sometimes he would go with me. And you have to understand, I have a 2-story 900 square foot townhome, so there's not many places to go. So it just happened to be that it would be upstairs or downstairs, or I'd be in a particular room or not. So inevitably,
Did you want some time away?
yes, I did. Even if it were just him upstairs or me downstairs or vice versa. So I rarely got to sleep.
Hey, Steve.
This was one of the instances
Welcome.
because I had barricaded the door with our, 200-pound dresser that we had. And then I had my nightstand barricaded up against the bed, to where it was even more difficult from the prior times of him breaking in. And he would, I don't know how he would ever do it, but he would get himself in through the crack of the door that he would be able to wedge the dresser in the nightstand. And he pulled me out of the bed and told me I was going to die. And I believe it's this incident, and punched me, and
Punched you in the side of the head?
yes, in
Was
my
it-
temple and everything.
Was it an open fist or a closed fist, or do you know?
It was fully closed.
Would like identification X introduced in the
What was pre-marked as X will be received without objection as Defense Exhibit 11.
part I'm showing you. This exhibit. That's you?
Yeah.
Did you get any treatment for that?
No.
Medical treatment?
I know the police came, but I don't remember. I remember it hurt for a good solid 2 weeks after that.
Was
So you
this
didn't
one
get
of the incidents where the police were called?
Gotcha.
Yes.
Now, do you recognize this photograph, which is identification Y?
Yes.
Was that the date of the incident? The date of this event?
No, it happened prior. But this picture that was taken of the,
This picture was taken, would have been taken February 24th of 2020.
yes,
And do you recognize that as your close-up facial?
yes,
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of how your face looked on February 23rd of 2020?
yes.
What's the significance of this?
Again, because I was sleeping, George was upset with me and came in with a metal curtain rod and bent it and snapped it in half, and then crunched me in the forehead with it. And it started to beat the furniture that was in the bedroom.
Does this not sound like part of the plot from Mommy Dearest? The no wire hangers, and then beat Christina with the hanger, tore up the room, and then beat Christina with the hanger. That's what it sounds like. Let's continue.
This is probably a good month before or after it had happened, before I really do believe that I should have gotten stitches, but I was not allowed to go to the hospital.
Oh, you weren't allowed to go.
Like identification Y introduced in the evidence.
It was a gash.
What was pre-marked as Y will be received into evidence without objection as Defense
He went
12.
Mommy Dearest.
Is that the same curtain rod that you mentioned in the 2-hour interrogation video?
Which they didn't take, yes.
This was photographs that were taken, I guess it would have been the crime scene. Was it the crime scene investigator that came out and took photographs?
I don't remember who it was, but yes, someone did on the day of the incident.
Was it different from the extraction, the phone extraction expert? Was it somebody different?
I think.
But isn't this Boone right here?
Yes, and remember, that's a month later.
And then on that same date, they took Same time, they took this photograph as well, which is identification R.
Yes.
All right, what does that do?
I believe it's from holding the baseball bat, and
Is that an injury to your hand?
it's a bruise.
Was that taken?
Oh, Bruise you with the baseball bat. So I guess you were getting back at him for hitting you with the bat. So you would decide to lock him in the suitcase and then beat his ass with the bat. Got it.
Was it February 23rd, 2020, when the investigators came out on
February 24th, I believe.
February 24th? Okay. I'd like to introduce identification on. Yeah,
What was pre-marked as defense R will be received into evidence without objection as defense 13. Yes, sir.
This is not a great photograph. Copy and copy.
Yeah, I see a white hand.
February 24th of 2020, is that what you were wearing? Is that you?
Yes.
What the hell she got on?
There's some discoloration up here of your palm. You see that?
I do.
Is that from you jabbing him with a baseball bat?
Sustained.
You know how you suffered that injury?
I believe it's from holding the baseball bat.
Oh,
When you poked him with it?
Yeah, it's trying to get his hand back in.
I don't know, V. Blanco. I wasn't listening that closely. I'm tired of this whole voice.
I'm showing you defense identification N. Just like 5 photographs. Can you look at those? See if you recognize them. All right, well, let's continue now. So,
Yes.
and for those fair and accurate depictions,
Yes.
as a composite of the events that occurred in relation to George Torres.
I'm trying to hold on till we finish direct. I'm trying to hold on, and then I'll come back tomorrow and do the cross. I'm trying to hold on. I'm so sick of her voice.
Your TV.
Yes. Yes.
All right, are those stills of a videotape that you took?
Yes.
And is that videotape, was it on your phone?
Yes.
So when law enforcement seized the phone, they would have had access to this video?
I believe so, yes.
And tell me about it.
Lucas liked to watch cartoons and play video games on the big screen, this is the big screen. And I would have to call Brian to come over sometimes to help me figure out the Fire Stick and whatever platform or whatever it was that Lucas was trying to view his shows and video games on. And I don't remember how George found out that Brian had come over. I believe because it was actually fixed and he knew that I didn't know how to do it. Found out that Brian had come over to fix it, and
Was he jealous of Brian?
I don't know if he was jealous of Brian. I think that he had a fear that I somehow would go back to Brian. So I think by Brian helping me with things for Lucas, he just didn't want him to be interacting with me at all.
So Lucas wasn't over here this day, was he?
No.
Ryan wasn't over here this day.
He may have been, I can't remember when he actually fixed the television for Lucas.
But y'all were drinking this day.
Yes.
I know he was for a fact, yes.
Chances are equal.
Probably so, yes.
Okay.
I would agree.
So how did it end up badly?
He accused me of sucking Brian's dick and told me that he was going to break my face with the bat and that he was going to make me unrecognizable to my son with the bat. And then told me that he's going to destroy my fucking television. And then I was going to remove it from the apartment. And if I didn't, I was going to be, again, unrecognizable to my son.
So did he grab the bat?
Absolutely. He already had that in his hand, and he told me that I had to videotape it.
Did you videotape it voluntarily? All right, but there is a video, but I'm going to go ahead and ask Judge if I could introduce this identification of these 5 photographs.
Oh, I want to hear this shit.
Was it O or N?
I have.
I definitely want to hear this.
The 5 photos. That's not having a single photo.
We're moving in O. Okay. All right. What was pre-marked as O will be received into evidence without objection as defense 14.
I want to see this.
These are some stills from the video.
Uh-oh.
This was George. That particular day, hold of that.
Yes, telling me that I'm going to take the television out once he destroys it.
He wanted you to take the television out?
That or I was going to help him, but either way, I was taking it apart and removing it.
Oh, snap.
In the process of him destroying my television.
While you're videotaping.
Correct.
Is
Wow.
that the result?
No. After that,
Kelly
he
G.
ripped it off of the TV stand.
Did you later pass out?
Like he usually does.
What's he drinking then?
I don't know. Vodka and something, I'm sure.
Well, y'all know if you are little and short, especially if you're a guy, you have little man syndrome. So he probably had a touch of that, the Napoleonic complex, and then plus you add alcohol, then you're in a toxic relationship with this hoe. I mean, I don't know. The kind of person that I am, if a dude put his hands on me, even thinks of putting his hands on me, he waking up in the upper room or in intensive care. I'm not gonna fight you or like in the suitcase, but I'm gonna get at you with a baseball bat, and you're gonna wake up dead or in the emergency room, intensive care. You wake up 6 months later, oh, that bitch got me. That's exactly what would happen.
I'm showing you identification N. Did you recognize that?
Can I let it in? In the stairwell?
All right, were those, was that a photograph taken by a crime scene?
Correct.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of your living room and stairwell?
Yes.
And I'm going to try to introduce this as identification 9 as an exhibit.
No. It's pre-marked as M, correct?
Is that N?
N, I apologize. What was pre-marked as
Thank you,
N will be
Devontae.
received into evidence without objection as defense 15.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about this room?
This is my living room. This wall that we have over here with the hearts, that's where we would display all of our artwork. We were in the process.
And this is the carpet, the concrete carpet. It looked like it's concrete too. This shit is gross. I can tell there's a bunch of dust and dirt on the floor. Nasty asses. Probably kiss your dog in the mouth.
Also taking it down to add more, so he could continue to be entertained. The bookshelf over here is my son's bookshelf with all of his toys and little guns and musical instruments. He's got a little karaoke machine down here, his guitar. The stand right here with the red bucket on it, that was the television stand. And then my back porch area.
Oh, thank you,
and the dog
Devontae.
right
I
here.
appreciate that.
And then it looks like in front of the bookshelf at the foot of the stairs is that a doggy?
It's a baby gate, but my dogs would wander upstairs sometimes and go to the bathroom sometimes when we couldn't get them out. So I would, at nighttime, or whenever we weren't home, make sure that they didn't go upstairs. And plus Penny was blind.
There's an allegation that you pushed George down the stairs
Apparently.
Apparently.
or got him in the suitcase upstairs and pushed him down the stairs?
Supposedly.
Is that correct?
Absolutely not.
Is that bookshelf disturbed in any way?
No, nor the plant next to it.
Nobody asked you about the plant hoe.
I'm showing you composite, 2 photographs, identification M. Did you look at those two and see if you recognize them?
Yes, this is me sitting on the back porch with my dogs. And as you can see that we are both drinking.
All right, who's taking
Of
the
course.
picture?
I'm guessing George's, or maybe it's one that Lucas, Lucas wasn't on here, so it had to be George.
How can you tell y'all are drinking?
Because there's a cup here and then he has a beer.
And there's 2 dogs, there's one sitting next to you. Who's that?
That's Penny, she's the blind dog. I used to have to pick her up to put her somewhere so she would stay there because she was unfamiliar with the area, especially since we moved from my marital home to the townhome. So most of the time Penny would be close or next to me.
Who's next to the film?
This is little guard dog Tess. She was the deaf dog. And this is the fence here.
Well, I'll show them in a minute.
Okay.
So we got dumb, deaf, and blind. You're dumb. You got a deaf dog and a blind dog. Dumb, deaf, and blind together in the photo. That's all we got. Dumb, deaf, and blind.
Okay. But this is Tess, and then this is deaf, blind. Penny and Tess.
All right, and then the second one.
This is Tess on the back porch taking a nap. She was never far from me.
All right, when George was sober, how did he treat the dogs?
Nice. I don't know if he was a pet person, but I mean, he was nice. If I needed him to feed them, he would feed them.
Were there times when George was drinking where he would threaten to harm the dogs?
All the time.
You don't have to tell the jury.
One of the worst threats was Penny being blind. He would actually leave the gate open in the back. He wouldn't threaten me to do it. He would actually do it on nights that I had to go up to sleep or I fled the night before or something.
Oh, you fled.
And would tell me that he hoped that I would come back and find her bloated body dead in the pond across the way from our townhome. And Tess was notorious if I wasn't there to go look for me, and would say that he would hope that I would have to scrape up her dead body from the street that was out in front of our apartment complex.
Why was George upset with you? Why would he threaten to harm the dog?
anything that he could get to try to have some type of hold over me.
Control.
And he knew I loved my dogs very much.
Okay, so what? I've threatened Paisley plenty of times. I've threatened to put him out in the wilderness, just put him in the backyard and let him fend for himself. I never did the shit, but I said, I'm going to drop you off on the side of the road. That's because you are in a full chaos gremlin today. Whatever. The dogs were alive. He didn't kill them, so what's your point?
Especially that they were handicapped.
Were they afraid of him?
And yes, Penny would hear his voice and instantly go underneath the dining room table that we had. Tess was always fractious and very, very quick with his movements, but she was never far away. They never showed their teeth. They never growled. Tess would occasionally bark, but it was very rare. And he used to kick them and just...
For what reason would he kick
That's a good point, Sasha.
Penny would try to find me because she's blind.
Sustained.
I'd like to move identification in the evidence.
Any objection? Was pre-marked as M will be received into evidence without objection as defense 16.
The blind dog and the deaf dog were protecting her from the psychotic, abusive drunk. Got it.
All right. Can you describe this for the jury?
This is again is our back porch, and this is the fence that I made for the dogs to have a little bit extra space. Penny is next to me. She's the blind dog, and then Tess is down here at guarding the gate.
Oh.
Are these fake rabbits? Is that
Yes. I used to call my son when he was a baby. He was my bunny rabbit.
Overruled.
The kids are not playing with you.
He was my bunny rabbit, so I used to collect bunny rabbits, and so I have rabbits here and there throughout my house and in my little garden area.
All right, this is the alcohol you are consuming,
Yes.
and this is a close-up of which one?
This is Tess, she's the deaf dog.
How old were these dogs at that time, 2020?
Gosh, maybe 9, maybe 10.
Why did you see the pictures of the dogs? They're alive.
Yes.
Lies, honey. I care about the deaf dogs for. Look at her smirking.
Hands, would you like to take an... All right, members of the jury, it's 4:03. By show of hands, would you like to take an afternoon break at this point in time? Okay, court sees no hands. We may have to work also a little bit past 5 o'clock, maybe going between 5:45 and 6 this evening. I know juror third from the right, you may have to make a phone call as to that. Does anyone have any concerns about working a little bit later today till 6 o'clock? If you have those concerns, please raise your hand at this time.
She's so
Court sees
pretty.
no hands. Ma'am, are you in a position to step out to see if you can get assistance with childcare, or is that not an option for today?
I'm actually all set for today. She's already taken them off.
You are? Okay. All right. Excellent. Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. With that, Mr. Owens, you may continue.
Isn't she pretty?
Judge?
Yes, sir.
I think one of the jurors raised their hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, juror fifth from the right.
Are we going to get a break before the 5:45 mark? Because if not, then yes, I would like a break now.
Then I tell you what, let's go ahead and take it at this time. We'll give you all a 15-minute recess. It's 4:04. Hang on. Don't leave yet. I got to tell you a couple things. It's 4:04. We'll see you back here at 4:20. Same instruction as before. Please don't conduct any independent investigation or research as the person, places, things, or charge involved, and don't have...
Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I'm at the 2-hour, 48-minute mark. I think it's a good place to stop. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll finish this, and then we'll do the cross as well. It's just I've been up here too long and my head's starting to hurt. They said they're ready to get this shit over with. Yes, Sasha, they are. And isn't it nice? Those of you who have been watching the YSL cluster, isn't it nice, that the prosecution presents their case. They don't have any gotcha, new people they want to throw in. We're not talking about rap lyrics. It's just a case, a succinct case that you can follow. And we're already on day 3 on the defense. Day 3 versus 146 days of fuckery. The first responders, I said the first responders. But anyway, so it's just nice, that we're moving along, we're trucking along, we're getting it done. So, like I said, I will come back tomorrow and do the rest. And I'm going to go ahead and schedule it so y'all know that I'm coming back. Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys for coming through. Please make sure if you have not hit the like button, please do so on your way out. And also, please share the stream. It does help my channel grow, and it helps me stay in the algorithms. Got to stay in the algorithms. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate those who donated and those who had the heart to donate and did not do so. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. One of the reasons I was out and hadn't been doing any streams, my wedding anniversary was last Friday. And I spent my wedding anniversary, spent 10 years, a decade, 10 years. And I spent my anniversary at the haunted house. Because I love Halloween. Oh, it was glorious. It was magical. It was magical. And the lady that is on my community wall, that was my co-host, C-Dot, back when I was doing my trolling. And so we met up in town and we went to the haunted house together. It was so much fun. Anyway, thank you for hitting the like button. Also, share the stream if you haven't done so. And if you haven't subbed, please do so. I have people who watch me and they're not subbed. So please, let me get to 5K, please. Please sub, please sub, please sub. All right, guys, let me get the hell out of here. And we're going to end with drums, please.
Drums, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a great time tonight. We have truly enjoyed ourselves, and we would like to thank you for being a part of the show and coming to visit this platform. Live on YouTube, Auntie Miracle B. Make sure you come back, because it's always live each and every time. Auntie Miracle B.